it's Barry.
Hey, it's Brian.
And welcome back to the greatest podcast on the internet, the Collecti-Bros podcast.
No bias.
On today's episode, we're going to talk about a little less known PlayStation 1 game called Kingsley's Adventure. I don't have anything else to add to the little itty-bitty bit I got.
No, let's start begging.
Before we get into the episode, just some quick housekeeping. If you like what you listen to, please stop by on YouTube or Spotify where there's more content. We're also on all social media at Collecti-Bros Pod and in Discord if you want to talk to us directly live where we check it and post stuff.
Yeah, show us your pickups because I like living vicariously through people who get cool shit.
All of our content is free. For the price of free, you can get over 100 episodes right here on YouTube. Officially now. I think we're at 102 or something like that. I don't know, but
yeah, Sega Bass Fishing was one, so this will be 102. Yep.
Not that I'm counting or anything. We just kind of post them. But that's all I got for that. Straight into this Is It Worth It episode. If you're new here, Is It Worth It is a bi-monthly series we do where we take a game, we analyze it, we dissect it, we play that game because we actually play them instead of collecting dust on the shelf, and we break it down to story, gameplay, graphics, sound, and the important part that sets us apart, price and collectibility, to determine if the game is worth buying or if it's trash and you shouldn't buy it and you should not invest any money into it. Yes. Which we've had a lot of those lately. So
we're on a little tear.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just sad, but yeah, that's what Is It Worth It is. So if you like the format of this and if you want to know if more games are worth it, let me just plug you back into the fucking
Dude, what
YouTube.
A segue. Let's go.
Going into this one, I wish I had it in front of me because it's at your house right now, but
yeah, I've got it in my lap.
I don't think I picked it up. Yeah. So Kingsley's Adventure is a PlayStation 1 game released and developed in 1999 by Psygnosis Camden, at least for the North American one. The publication is different for the UK, and it's just a little 3D platformer action adventure. Kingsley is a little small fox who's on a journey to become a true knight. You have to go through foxholes to get to new areas, get new weapons and armor, and then defeat the Dark Knights to finally battle Bad Custard, who is a disgruntled chef who got cast out after food poisoning the fucking entire kingdom damn near. And he's on a revenge quest. It was originally supposed to feature magic spells, but that was not included in the final release. And I wanna say that this game is really unknown. I've never really had it referenced to me in my life before.
Oh yeah.
No one's ever talked about this game. No one's ever said Kingsley's Adventure is on my list of things to buy, or I remember that game as a kid. It's not on the radar at all.
It's really interesting. The first time I ever heard about this game is when you picked it up. I didn't even know what it was. I was just like, oh, this is cool. It's a PlayStation platformer. And it's really funny doing some research. It seems like everybody else had a similar experience, or their parents bought this and saw the orange main character and thought it was Crash Bandicoot. So
yeah, that's kind of definitely what it's modeled after. It's like a, action adventure 3D style Zelda medieval, but PlayStation 1 was really Mascot City, so any game that had a fucking animal mascot, it was there. You got Crash Bandicoot, you got Spyro the Dragon, you got Sly Cooper was not on
Croc.
PlayStation 1, I'm sorry. Not Sly Cooper.
Yep.
Croc.
It was literally mascot. It's more so in the PlayStation era, I think, than any other era. There was quite a bit on Super Nintendo and Genesis, but PlayStation, I feel like it was bipedal critter of the week, bro.
More the chicken. If it was an animal, they were gonna fucking make it and put it on the PlayStation 1. That's for sure. So it is this entire game, like, design and style is so 90s that it's like chewing on candy, if that makes any sense. But it was made by a UK developer, so the studio was in the UK, and the official UK magazine, PlayStation Magazine, reviewed it. And they don't give, like, a point system, so some of them do, some of them don't, especially in the 90s. It was kind of hard. Like, it was actually cool. I found whoever referenced this one on Wikipedia actually linked the digital scans of the magazine that it was in, so I got to read the full article that they posted in the magazine, which is really cool. So the article in the magazine didn't necessarily say, like, oh, this is a score. It's just kind of an opinion piece of a game that's coming out. And they had some pros and cons listed. It was definitely, the controls were the most criticized of all. And then the guy also mentioned that Kingsley was a stupid name.
What a weird nitpick.
Like, all right. The Moby score is a 69%. Nice. Most of the reviews are from, like, EU sources, like Power Unlimited, Planet Station, Superplay Sweden. And on that website on Moby, when it takes, like, the aggregate scores of them and kind of puts them in an average, when you click on, like, Power Unlimited, it pops it down and tells you, like, what they had to say when they posted it, or what format it was in. And they're all dated for, like, the 90s, so they're not like, you know, critic scores from 2014 that want to re-review games, because I think that's starting to get difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So, because a lot of the times when I'm talking about, like, when I'm looking at games, especially for the podcast, and I'm trying to decide, like, what I'm picking or what I'm referencing, I really want to understand, like, what people thought of it and what was happening at the time it came out, because I think a lot of times the events surrounding a release of a game are really important and link specifically to why it may be expensive.
For sure.
So I try to kind of find, because it's not super common quite yet, but it's starting to have a lot more traction of game sites going back and re-reviewing old games. Mm-hmm. They were doing, like, new reviews of Super Metroid in 2023 or whatever, and they post a whole new review of it. And I'm not quite sure if the websites that data scrape reviews kind of caught on, or if it's able to filter them out in any sort of way of, like, adjusting a score.
Yeah.
Or a recommendation score. But this one, that's where I found the Moby score. It did have a list of them. I couldn't read majority of them because they were in fucking German and French and Spanish, and you know, I'm a boring American that knows one language.
I
and
barely
like
know one
5
language,
Spanish
bro.
words. But guess, I don't know how much you dug into this one, Brian, but guess who was on the design team?
I found a couple people, but a specific name, I'm not sure who you got. A
specific name that stood out to me was Brendan McNamara.
Why does that sound familiar?
Because we just talked about him on the episode where we talked about LA Noire.
Oh, okay.
It was that guy. It was that
Interesting.
guy that got fucking GTA VR canceled.
Yep.
So he was actually on the design team.
Interesting.
Which is surprising that I saw his name. He's credited.
Huh.
But there is on YouTube, and I'll make sure that we have the link in the notes specifically, but there is a video, and Brian actually found it, called Kingsley's Adventure Documentary. And it is posted by Mr. F01, where he went into the kind of more development side of Kingsley and was able to track a few of the developers down, and they're still active on Twitter and stuff. Did you ever get anybody to get back with you?
Negative.
No.
But I mean, I just sent it last night too. So, but yeah, I love shit like that, man. Like someone across that, and we've talked about it before. Like they didn't keep records back then.
No,
it was just literally a job, and it was like, would you go to your job now and keep documented records? Like, fuck no, you wouldn't. So I don't blame anybody. But it's cool, man. Like there's surprisingly a bunch of concept art that's still physically drawn, handed, penciled, and paper concept art. The composers still have original wave files for the music. Like, there's so much of this game that's still out there. It's really awesome, honestly.
Yeah, it was interesting. I saw that when he was talking about it, he actually sent him some music tracks that were never put in the game, and they had never kind of hit the internet until then. So I believe there's 3 tracks that they're posted on YouTube now.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and some extended tracks of some that were in the game. But one of I think it was the designer, Alastair Cornish, was a developer. So in some of the messages that were from a few people, that one, he'd mentioned that Kingsley was originally supposed to be a rabbit. And that was kind of changed, but then the original like rabbit model was like put in a cage somewhere.
Yeah.
And then another point that I thought was interesting was there was just so little marketing that they got
so
stickers.
funny.
Yeah, they got stickers and were asked to like stick them around London as like a marketing tactic. There were maybe a couple ads in a couple magazines that I saw. There was a poster and then there was a calendar, and he has that in his video too. But
it's funny too, because like I read a bunch of gaming magazines growing up, because like, you know, my mom loved books and stuff, so she'd take us to the bookstore and just be like, here's a video game mag, just in the corner while I look through books for 2 hours. I don't remember seeing anything about this game.
No, and I don't know if it got immediate traction outside of the UK as like an immediate marketing tactic. But it's actually funny. I was at an antique mall where I went through a booth and they had some old Game Informers and a couple other gaming magazines from like mid to early 2000s. And anytime I find gaming magazines, I fucking flip through those to make sure they don't have posters.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I didn't make any poster scores today, which is unfortunate. If you guys have any Anime Max magazines that you don't want and they have posters in them, like, please hook me up. But that's where I get the good ones. Oh shit, I just let everybody know.
Yeah, dude, just everybody.
Fuck, we're gonna scrap it.
They're all gonna go on eBay right after this.
Get out of here. But yeah, that's kind of really all I have about the early part of Kingsley. There's not a lot of information about this game. Like I said, it's kind of unknown. It's a little hidden. Not a lot of people really talk about this game. There's not a lot of traction of like current interest in it. But everyone that's been in the comments or whatnot has always been like, oh, like I remember this game as a kid. Like it was a lot of fun. When's the sequel? Yeah. And I believe Sony still owns it. So...
Interesting.
Because I believe Sony was Psygnosis's parent company.
Yeah.
Which I believe they technically would still own Kingsley.
Yeah. You'll recognize Psygnosis if you know like the Wipeout games. They worked on those, but the Psygnosis actually did close in 2010, unfortunately.
But yeah, unless you have anything else, I'm going to get into the story.
No, I am interested though, because like I love it. You're pretty good at finding these like obscure little games where there's just not a lot of information about. Like this is my favorite kind of shit to do for the podcast, honestly. Because yeah, there's so much information out there. But like, hey, is Mario 3 worth your time? Like everyone knows that game, you know. Shit like this is so fun. What was your decision making in choosing this game?
I used to own this game a long time ago, and I don't know why, but I was doing a purge, and I included this one in the purge for an unknown reason that I cannot recall. And then a couple years ago, I was looking through making wish lists and being like, why the fuck did I get rid of Kingsley? Like, I need to find it. So I pretty much, as soon as I finally found a copy, I was like, all right, we're doing it for the podcast. Because I didn't know it got expensive.
Yeah, I remember when you got it, I was like, I've never seen this. This is really interesting. And, you know, these are the kind of games that I grew up playing. Like, I was definitely a Crash and Spyro kid. And Croc, my mom got me Croc, and I fucking love Croc. Like, it's the same lead designer for the animation and stuff that did Croc, so it's really cool.
Yeah, I guess I was looking at the credit history for I wish I had it pulled up, but I closed the fucking window. I'm so sorry. The guy who did the artwork, he did this game and then just dropped off the face of the planet damn near until last year for Croc.
Huh. Oh, because Limited Run did their re-release and shit. Yeah.
So,
interesting.
Yeah, I finally got the game and was like, all right, now we can do an episode on it because I finally fucking found it. And I haven't found a single copy of it since.
Yeah, the one that you picked up's literally the only one I've ever seen, dude.
Yeah. Well, I've seen 2. I don't know where the first one went.
Yeah. Damn.
So, yeah. Let's get into the story, which is a lot more story than the last game we had.
Oh yeah, that's not hard to do.
The story of Kingsley is he's an orphaned fox. I don't really remember if it was disclosed on how his parents died, but they're dead.
Yeah, they said his dad was a knight, was one of like the knights of the kingdom or whatever.
Yeah,
and that's
but I don't know how he died.
Yeah, they didn't say specifically.
So it just
epic battle probably.
Yeah, maybe. So he's an orphan fox and he wants to become a true knight like his father was for the Fruit Kingdom. And the Fruit Kingdom had a chef named Bad Custard who got booted from the kingdom after a food poisoning incident because he's a chef but can't cook very well. And on the way out, he stole the queen's book of magic. And so using that book, he transformed the 4 remaining true knights of the Fruit Kingdom into dark knights in a revenge plot. So he's trying to take over the Fruit Kingdom. Kingsley's the only one that can stop him, I guess. So yeah. Kingsley's like, I want to be a true knight. And they're like, well, you have to go on like a quest to get the true knight like items to become one. So in the very first level is where Kingsley gets trained by a badger in the castle. And this acts as your kind of tutorial area. So he gets trained by the badger. Once you complete that, you go into the basement and that's where you go into the foxhole to like the first foxhole to find the first area you have to go to. So he has to go to Seatown, which arguably has the best area music, and where he needs to defeat Captain Gallagher and the Scourge of the Seven Seas, and his crocodile Rex. And Rex is actually the Frog Knight who is transformed. So once you go through that, beat them, then you go to the Poor Luck Village, where he has to defeat Snuff the Dragon. And Snuff the Dragon is stealing all of the food except for spinach, because he hates it. Or kale, I can't remember which one.
I think it was spinach.
Spinach.
It's so funny because he got so gluttonous, he built like a conveyor belt where it just like his minions throw it on the belt and it goes straight to his cave.
Yep. And also Judas the Bull. And Judas the Bull is the Rabbit Knight. I'm not sure how that transformation came on, but okay.
Yeah, man.
I would have imagined like a cow or something, but
right.
The third area that you have to go to is Rosary Village, where there is a poisoned root beer problem.
Love this one. Yeah.
And the root beer is made in the Abbey, so he has to go investigate the Abbey. I don't know why the Abbey is making the equivalent of this place as alcohol, but okay. And he has to fight Clarence Darklord Jr., who is a bat that's disguised as a novice, like of the Abbey, and that's who's poisoning the root beer. And then you also have to fight Oscar the Condor. Condor. It's Condor.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. I think it's Oscar is what threw me off. Oscar the Condor.
Sounds better.
Fucking Oscar the Condor. And he is actually the Eagle Knight transformed. And the last...
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. That one does make sense. And the last location is Aphasia, which is kind of... Okay, backtracking a little bit, Seatown is exactly what it sounds like. It's a fucking beach with some water. And there's like a barrel as the bar. Poor Luck Village is basically a dirt mound with like fucked up trees and fucked up buildings, and it's raining all the time. Rosary Village is a normal looking village. It's just got like an abbey on the top of it. And then
and the coffee shop.
Oh yeah, in the coffee shop, because that's where people sober
funny.
up.
It's literally like the religions, like, do you drink coffee or do you drink root beer? It's so fucking funny, dude.
And then Aphasia is kind of just this like weird mystical place in the woods and the mountains, and there are ruins there, and you have to go there to help the sheep wizard, Cornflower, who got his magic coat stolen by a rat named Reggie. So you have to defeat Reggie the rat, and then once Cornflower gets the coat back, he summons a bridge where you go across the bridge and you can fight Gustav the polar bear, who is the bear knight, in like a honey theme. And I said, ooh, great.
Yeah,
the bears and a honey with the bees are whooping my ass.
Reminds me of our D&D game, the honey trap.
Oh yeah, my honey trap with my naked Pooh Bear. So after defeating all of the Dark Knights and gaining the True Knight items, Kingsley is able to become a True Knight and go to Skull Island, where he has to fight Bad Custard. And Bad Custard ultimately dies by falling in a vat of lava. Kingsley's able to get the book. He goes back to the kingdom, returns the book. Everything's good. He's like a True Knight now. He joins the True Knight squad. They're all waiting for him. Happy ending.
Yep.
But it's unsure how much of this is actually true, because the introduction of the game story is a puppet show, and at the end, after the credits, it's revealed that Kingsley is the puppeteer behind the curtain, and he like turns around and like shushes the camera and is like, keep a secret, don't tell him. So he kind of ends up being an unreliable narrator in a sense of like, did those events actually happen, or is he just making that shit up? Which I think it's kind of funny, but also like kind of unnecessary at the same time. I'm not really sure what the reasoning was behind that, but that's the story. I mean, it's real basic. It's really simple. The only thing that's confusing about this is why it's the Fruit Kingdom, because they live in it's a rabbit and another rabbit that have the carrot castle.
There's carrot shit everywhere.
Dude.
Every gate's got a carrot. Every door handle's a carrot.
So
I thought the same thing when I was playing.
So
I was like, why is
this
this the
not
Fruit
the Carrot
Kingdom?
Kingdom? You know,
Right.
Like, I don't understand why it's the Fruit Kingdom.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's the only thing that makes absolutely no sense in this entire thing. But
The only thing I could think of is like maybe it was something, because I know they changed a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was initially going to be, but like, I don't know. I had a pet rabbit growing up. He didn't give a fuck about fruit. He wanted veggies all day, every day.
yeah, so the theme doesn't quite match the name of the Fruit Kingdom. But I thought the story was cute. It's not really like, it doesn't really take itself seriously. The bosses are kind of jokey, like the dragon that you have to fight. Was he a dragon in the? Yeah, I'm sorry, Snuff.
Yeah.
My brain was like putting him in the last area for whatever reason. And then like the guys, like if you go into some of the taverns or the bars, like one of them's talking about like trying to ask a girl out or like return to his girlfriend and shit. So the game doesn't really take itself too seriously. It's a cute little cartoony game. Yeah, I don't really have any complaints about it other than the Fruit Kingdom makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was really the only negative for me too. Like, I thought this game was so goddamn charming as far as like the characters, the world, like all the NPCs. You can actually like walk up to them and talk to them and interact with them, and they kind of world build a little bit. You know, like they're all super unique. Like they're vibrant. Shout out to like the barmaid. She's awesome. She has like just giant lips and she's a fish.
Yeah,
and then like the like the coffee dudes, they just talk crazy and they talk really fast. Like. Oh, and then the first guy you meet on the beach level, like No Beard, the pirate, he's like, I'm the most badass pirate around, like no one's gonna mess with me. And then you go kill like the boss or whatever, and he's like, wait, so he's gone, so I really am the most like toughest pirate around. Like the game's just got so much damn charm, man. Like I really did not expect there to be just like random NPCs you could go talk to and stuff for a PS1 game. That's pretty advanced, you know. For like a kid's platformer, I'm not saying it's like, you know, this isn't Citizen Kane or anything, but it's a fun little story that's adorable, and I really like the world, and it's one of those games that, like, man, I wish we would have got something like on a PS2 or a PS3 where they could flesh it out even more, because the world's really interesting, and like it's funny seeing all the different animal types like get along and not get along, and it's a cool little world, man. Like, this would have just, if I had this as a kid, it would have slid right in there with Crash and Spyro, no problem.
Yeah, like especially if this was on another platform that was a little more powerful.
Yeah.
It would have been, you know, a whole realm of like secret areas and collectibles. Like, this is the game that has the DNA of that kind of stuff, but it's not included in it whatsoever.
Right.
So, yeah, because there's not extra shit you're doing in this game. Like, this is a straightforward game, okay? Exactly what you need to do is exactly what you're gonna do, and there's no fucking off anywhere else.
Yeah. Yep. There's no hidden bananas.
No,
There's no
none of
jewels
that.
or coins to go pick up. There's coins, but yeah, it's not. That's just for your lives or whatever. There's no side objectives. There's no 100%ing this. Like, you beat it, it's done.
Yeah. There's no side content whatsoever. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's really simple. Like, I just don't really have much more to say about the story other than like, it is extremely charming. It is straightforward. It is very simple. It's not complicated. It doesn't do anything crazy that doesn't make any sense, or it's like, why did they do that? Or,
right.
you know, like, they didn't try to overcomplicate it. They were like, we're just going to make a cool little game about a fox being a knight that's going to go, like, beat some bad guys up. And that's really it.
It was refreshing just to how almost simplistic it was, you know, like, it's almost a lost art form nowadays, just to be like a cute little platformer world. Like, they just don't exist anymore, so it was nice to see.
You know, there is not a single touch of Yoko Taro in this game whatsoever. You know, it is it is the opposite, exact opposite of that kind of idea. There are the two halves of Barry. It's fucking Drakengard and Kingsley. But let's talk about the gameplay a little bit. So the gameplay of this is it's gonna follow a theme of the story. It's pretty simple, okay? Every area you're kind of going into, and once you beat that area and that boss, you gain access to a True Knight item, which the True Knight items mostly just give you access to be able to fight the Dark Knights. But somewhere in that area, you're going to be gaining new items or new weapons. So, like, you get a dagger, and you get a sword, and you get an axe, and the bow. And the bow is really important for solving puzzles.
Yeah.
There's a lot of puzzles in this as well, trying to figure things out. So, once you get access to those new items, like, some of them are going to work on some enemies, and some of them are not going to work on other enemies. You have a little shield, and that's kind of really it. You jump, you shield, you hit. You know, it's pretty much Zelda idea.
Yeah.
You know, they took away the magic and any of the extra special shit. So every area is kind of like dungeons, and inside the dungeons you've got traps you have to navigate, puzzles you have to navigate, enemies you have to attack, and in the dungeons there's a couple items that you can get. There's hearts, which is for your life. A la Zelda again. And there are coins. And the coins, I can't remember exactly what number you hit, but once you hit a certain number of coins, you gain a life.
It was 50.
Was it 50? Okay.
Yep.
And then
which is funny, because when I was playing it, I was like, oh, these coins, there must be a shop or something later on. And then I realized I got a life. I was like, it's a weird collectible for an extra life, but okay.
It took me a while to figure it out, or I was like, okay, I'm getting coins, and I never noticed like what they were doing, and I was waiting for like an area to pop up and be like, oh, here's some things you can buy. But I do remember dying at one point and looking at my screen and being like, I just died. How do I have another life?
Yeah.
And at one point then I noticed like, oh, the coins are giving me lives. Okay. which became very important at certain areas of this game.
Shit.
So a lot of it is just really platform navigation, puzzle solving, and trying not to fall to your fucking death, really, is what this game is. So it's straightforward. This bitch is not easy because of the controls. 100% because of the controls. And this is tank control era. So this game has fucking tank controls, and it's so difficult.
Man, a platform with tank controls, like, let that sit in, people. Like, I didn't know that going in. And
I did not realize that's how it was going to be either.
No, dude. And my PlayStation, like childhood PlayStation that I was playing on, I don't have like a analog stick controller, so I had to use like the OG PlayStation controller without the thumbsticks. So it says on the back it supports analog support, but
it does. But honestly, there were some areas where I needed to switch to the D-pad.
I was thankful for the D-pad, but like, Jesus, man.
The analog was nice when I was just kind of roaming around, because like it does have analog support, but the right analog does not control a camera in any way, shape, or form.
Interesting. Oh, it strafes or whatever.
It doesn't do anything.
Oh,
because you have to think on the controller without the analog. It does not have another thing.
Oh, yeah.
So it kind of just, when they started it, and then when they started, because Sony added all different kinds of chips and shit to all their iterations of PlayStation, and then the analog one came out, it's like they probably just made the support possible just for the movement, but they would have had to design and code an entire system to control the camera with it, and I just don't think that they wanted to.
Yeah, this thing was on a shoestring budget. If they're giving out stickers for their advertising, I'm pretty sure they didn't want to spend the money for that. Yeah,
so across the board, the controls are the most criticized part of this game, and it is a huge learning curve to get used to them. When I first started the game, I was like, holy shit, I may go insane. These controls are out of pocket, and it took a while for me to like really get used to how it moves and how it turns and how the camera works for me to be like, okay, I can actually like play this game without freaking the fuck out.
Same, dude. And honestly, once I realized you could use like the R2 and L2 to like go at an angle when you're running forward to help line up some of the jumps, that helped a little bit, but like it was so awkward at first because it was just so foreign to me, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is definitely one of those games where you spend some time with the controls because you need to master them if you want to beat this fucking thing. Don't go in thinking it's a kid's game, it's going to be breezy.
No.
Because even like the first level, I was like, oh, this is like super simplistic. And especially with the combat, you know, it's not very deep. You kind of just get in their face, smash the square button.
They'll beat your ass, man.
Oh yeah, but you know, you have the shield, thankfully. But the platforming, man, like it is brutal, and it is like you are going to miss your jumps. You are going to fall to your death.
And there's like slide mechanics too on some of this.
Oh God, I'm having PTSD thinking about that shit.
Yeah, I remember texting you at some point of being like, the fucking difficulty spike was insane.
Yeah,
and I don't remember what level.
Two big spikes for me.
I don't remember level. Which one was it?
What, the green slime?
No, I think the first one that I really had difficulty. I mean, yeah, but the first one I had difficulty with was in the snuff one. It wasn't too bad. It was the it wasn't the Abbey.
The one after that was kind of tough.
The fucking aphasia stage was bullshit, bro. That's the one that I was like, this is an absolute insanity.
Yeah.
There was a point.
It's so unforgiving.
There was a point where I had to, I think it was on my third time, because you hit checkpoints in the game, and if you die, you're going to lose one of your lives, and then you're going to go back to the checkpoint. And if you lose all of your lives, you have to restart the entire level. Mm-hmm. And that bitch was long. That was a long level. It was unforgiving, long as hell. You'd get caught by some stupid-ass boulders. The stupid fucking slime platform cliffs that you'd try to pixel hop on. Oh my God, dude.
When you're looking forward to the boss rush, you know it's a fucking problem, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Boss rush is like the easy part. This is like a 4-hour or 5-hour game that I had to pause and stop my game capture because I had to redo this fucking stage so many times. I was like, I'm not eating up all the space on my computer of recording the same shit 4 times.
Dude, for me, the 2 big difficulty spikes was that second level with the green, like basically there's like a green slime on top of these platforms. You have to jump and you slide. Dude, I had to step away because I was like, I'm going to go fucking crazy.
That's the one where I was going to go nuts.
Yeah, I spent like literally 45 minutes, 50 minutes trying to make that last jump like after you get on the cloud.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, dude. Like I literally paused it. I was like, I gotta step away.
The one where the cloud goes up and it's that first jump, but then you have to jump onto that little fucking
sloped edge.
little chode of a fucking cliff, and then jump on the next one that immediately slides down. So if you don't make like the 2 pixels, you are fucked.
Oh yeah, it was insanity, dude. Like,
but it's not like you're dying fucked. It's like you slide down the cliff and then you have to turn around, run down the hall, wait for the cloud to get to the bottom, jump on the cloud, get back to the top of the cloud, just to turn around and then slide off the cliff again. It was brutal.
Yeah, it was madness, dude. It was the first like major difficulty spike, and then that last stage was just like you're jumping on the tiniest platforms possible, and there's like
the
4
ones with the
momentum
timer.
when you jump. Yeah. Oh my God, you have to put that switch, dude.
Yeah.
That's another one. And that one I did it in like I think it was like 7 or 8 tries, but I was like I'm towards the end, so it was way more motivating than that green slime because I was like, this is too early to fuck up, bro. Like, no, don't do this to me.
That one is where I almost. That's where I had that talk to myself where I was like, am I really not going to finish this game? Am I really? Is this it?
Yeah, I was sweating it, dude.
That was insane.
And then I was like, I know Barry beat this. I can't have that, man. My gamer pride was like, no, I gotta get in there and do this shit. I went and ate lunch. I was like, all right, let's refocus. And I eventually got it. But oh my God, dude.
I had to like
that added an extra hour onto my. Yeah.
Well, and then the game finish time dude. At the end, like, yeah, sure, it says, how long to beat's going to tell you it's a 4 to 5 hour game. And there are people who can just do it straight through. But dog, I'm telling you, if you're an old fuck like us, and you don't have just hand-eye coordination like you used to, apparently, because that's what happens when you age, I guess. Who's to say? But it's going to be longer than that, because you're going to be redoing this shit.
Yeah, mine was about 7.5 hours.
Oof.
So, yeah, because I did it in one day, and I wish I wouldn't have, because I was sweating, bro.
But yeah, and this is a game I could not, and I haven't tried it since, but this is a game that I could not get the emulation to work. I don't know. I was having some weird issues with some other stuff, and I got it to work on another game, and I haven't gone back and tried to see if I could get Kingsley to work because I was having the same issue with both. So I don't know if it was because of what I was doing at the time or if it was because the file that I had was fucked up. But I couldn't get it to work, so I just played it on my PS3, and this game, I was sitting there being like, my God, I need save states. I don't care.
Yeah, dude.
Save states would have saved my ass so many times.
It would have been real fucking nice.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So this is one of those games that kind of suffers from that era of like, well, I ate your quarters and now you're fucked and, you got to try it again. It is kind of arcadey. You talk about an action adventure. It's kind of like an action arcadey type game where you are using the lives as a currency system and, you're putting in more quarters in to get more lives and it's eating your quarters until you don't have any more and you have to play the whole thing again.
Yeah.
So.
And it's weird too because it's inconsistent sometimes. Like early on in the game, if there's like green, it's not lava, but it's like green water. You jump in
like
it,
slime.
and it kind of, it resets you to like a platform, right? And then in the last dungeon out of nowhere, it just takes your whole life. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like,
yeah,
it tries to bully you towards the end for sure.
It was rough.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the boss fights were,
dude, they were cheddar.
Yeah, it was. I was sweating that last boss fight. I was like, oh, this is going to be really tough if this, after coming off this platforming, and it wasn't too bad. I don't think any of them really gave me any fits, and there's a couple of them you could just kind of cheese, honestly, if you have the ability to block, which I thought was pretty cool. It's really simple, but the fact that it's in there, like, this and Medieval are the only 2 games I could think of on the PlayStation where it gives you the option to block, like as a platformer, but you could literally just block it and then just smash the shit out of square, block again for some of these guys. Like the bull, I was sweating him and he wasn't shit. Like But yeah, it was interesting. Like, I remember you said there was a boss rush, and I was like, "Oh fuck, man, I hate boss rushes."
Yeah,
it's like one of my
it wasn't
most
necessarily
hated
like
gaming mechanics.
a boss rush. It was so the Dark Knights. There's like the main dungeon stage that you have to do in order to get like the true knight armor, and then in that same area is the Dark Knight. So there are some instances where you can gain access to that item. Like once you finish fighting Snuff, you got the item where you could. I think it was the gauntlets. And you could use the gauntlets to pull the ship.
It's like a boat.
Yeah, there's a big ship out, and you had the strength to like pull the chain and get the ship back, and that's where you would fight the Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that's what the fuck was happening. I thought I was just getting armor, so I didn't fight any of them until the end. So I had to backtrack and go fight all of the Dark Knights after I finished all of the levels, and the Dark Knights are set up mechanically to have you fight them after you finish the one level.
Yeah.
So I fucking plowed through those bitches on the first one. Like, Rex had his health, I just chewed through it bad, because you weren't supposed to have the sword by the time.
Right.
So the boss rush was kind of like my own doing, where I was like, okay, I just waited till the end to do all of the Dark Knights, and I just went back through and fought them all.
Yeah, same.
And some of them gave me a hard time, and some of them didn't, mostly because I just couldn't understand like what the fuck I was supposed to do on some.
Right.
But it was like the difficulty of trying to puzzle out the Dark Knight fights was absolutely nothing compared to that fucking dungeon.
Shit, man.
I felt like a fresh breeze of saltwater air like crest over my body as I was fighting these bosses. I was like, oh my god. It's like you've like just ran a marathon and you're covered in fucking sweat, right? You have a thin like layer of sweat all over you, and then a fan is hitting you and cooling your whole body. That's how I felt when I was fighting these bosses, where I was like, oh my god, like I'm just in the aftermath of this fucking horrible dungeon that I just wanted to quit this game for, and I'm just getting like caressed by cool air.
It's just a wild concept to be like, yeah, I want to fight back to back to back to back to back bosses instead of dealing with platforming in a platformer, you know?
Yeah. So I think the only reason that the platforming was so difficult was some of the design was a little brutal, but the controls were absolutely it, you know?
Yeah. I agree 100%. If this game had crisper controls, and, you know, obviously not every game had right analog stick movement of the time, but like if it would have, if they done a remaster of this or whatever and they cleaned that shit up, be cake.
I don't, yeah, if if they ever remastered it, it would just need camera control. If it just had camera control, it would be a fine game, because then your tank, the idea of the tank control is completely eliminated. It's always the fucking camera. You got anything else for gameplay?
Yeah, I think we about covered it, man. It's kind of a mixed bag. There's some good shit, and I feel like for every kind of interesting thing, it was just, you know, one step backwards every time you take one step forward, kind of neutral each other out, you know.
Let's move on to the music. Pull some names up here so I don't be like, oh, I forgot to write it down. Okay, so the music, and I actually have shit for this category, which is crazy because I never do.
Yeah, this was nice because a lot of these devs and stuff are still active on other people's YouTube videos and social media, LinkedIn.
Yeah,
it was cool.
So the music on this is composed by Alastair Lindsay. And Alastair Lindsay was another one that Mr. F01 had some communications with in that video. If you want to go see the full list of messages, it's in there. He talked about some stuff that wasn't really Kingsley related, so I kind of skipped over that part. But he was the head of music for Shadow of the Colossus, PS4, Neo, music production manager for games like Order 1886, which I actually really liked that game, Bloodborne, Ratchet and Clank. Yeah. So he's still active. And one of the messages he said From what I can remember, the music direction was an idea between myself and one of the designers. We wanted something fun, a bit cheeky, that had elements of Kingsley's world and the characters you meet in the game. There was a little bit of pastiche in there too. And I didn't write this one down, but he wanted like a specific groove and a beat. And I'll tell you what, man, this music is good. This music is
slaps, bro.
Really
That's so
good.
fun.
There were so many levels on this where I was like, oh man, this fucking song stuck in my head. Like I said, Seatown has probably got the best song of all of the areas. But that credit song slaps, dude. It's really good.
Like an EDM concert. It's funny, the back of the box says there's 41 individual game tunes, but like the music is super varied. Like it's unique, it stands out, it's very vibrant, it is fun, it's upbeat. Like I didn't know going in, I just assumed it was gonna be like, you know, kazooies and shit because it's a little kid's platformer. Yeah. But like I was blown away by the music, man. Like it really caught me off guard. It's awesome. Like he did a great job.
So I was expecting it to sound like fucking old school RuneScape. You know, where you've got the fucking flute and the dong dong like a couple times.
Just like medieval music, yeah.
Just that basic medieval music. But it honestly like went above and beyond my expectations. Like it's really good.
Same. Yeah, this is one of my favorite soundtracks that we've done for the show in recent memory, honestly. Like the shit was I have tons of options to pick for the music for this episode, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot to pick from to like feature, and I even went to Spotify to see if any of it was on there, and it's not. I know, man. It's kind of sad. You can do that.
Like straight up, if this, I'm sorry,
you can do that thing. Some people use Spotify, some people don't. I just use it for the convenience. But fuck Spotify. That's all I'm gonna say. You can do this thing where you can upload local files to it, and I wanted to do that so I could start adding some stuff to like my playlist that I have, but it doesn't it doesn't cross sync with your mobile phone, and that's mostly what I use it for.
Interesting. Yeah. Damn.
So
yeah, this is straight up one of those soundtracks. If they made like a collector's vinyl for it, I would no hesitation buy it. Like I think this music's awesome. Like I would listen if there was a way to listen to this. I definitely would, other than, you know, ripping it from YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, it was
like, it's great.
It was a really good soundtrack. Really exceeded my expectations for what I thought I was going to get in this game. So I think the music is probably my favorite part of this game.
I'll second that. That for sure.
And I don't say that very often. I don't even remember the last time I said that for a game where I was like, music hands down is like the best category.
I'm trying to think. It's been a while, but I'm even weird with music. Like I'm a classically trained music, so there's these people and the time I spent doing it, I'm kind of like weirdly burnt out by just music in general. So like whenever I feel something from music, like I'm always surprised myself, you know. Like this was great. Like I have nothing but high marks for this. Like you're saying, just exceeding expectations and like what I thought going in, just nothing like that. And there's nothing that sounds relatively even close. Like I can't be like, oh, this kind of sounds like this game or that game. Like it's so unique and like in a weird way it works and fits this weird quirky world, you know. Like they set the tone very well with this music too. Like it gets you pumped up and it's great, man. Like I have nothing but high marks, and I think I agree it's my favorite part of this game.
Yeah,
like, truthfully.
And it's interesting because like there's so many different areas, right? You're going to a sea area, you're going to like a cloudy, desolate mud hill. You go into some ruins in a weird like mystical forest or whatever, and every single like song that goes with it is thematically different. Like even the song with the bowl, Judas, has got like, I feel like it's got like Spanish flair on it. But every single song feels like it's supposed to be inside of this game. It doesn't feel like Chop Shop. You know, we made a pirate song, then we made a cave song. Like it feels like it's the pirate song for the Kingsley game, you know? So the overall like setting, the overall setting of the music really fits everything. Even
I couldn't say it better myself.
Even as different as some of the areas are, it really feels cohesive.
That's the thing, because like some of these areas are so varied. Like it's, it feels like a full lived-in world, so you don't think it would work. And even like you're saying, the credit song, like it is kind of like out of nowhere, but in a weird way, it was like a rewarding victory song, And then the sound effects in general too, like there's banjo for clarity. There's Banjo-Kazooie dialogue, and anytime that's in a game, I'm a sucker for it. Like I love that shit. It really just takes me back to like a certain time in my childhood.
What is that?
Playing the Banjo-Kazooie voices when they
Oh,
when they
you
talk.
mean the
like,
Animal Crossing?
Yep. Anytime that's in the game, I'm a sucker for that shit, man. Like I love it. Like I didn't know it was in here, and I was like, hell yeah, we got Banjo-Kazooie voices. I love it, man.
Yeah, that's the music. Let's talk about the graphics. The graphics on this is your classic PlayStation 1 polygon shapes, skyboxes, simple, kind of basic terrain, the limitations of the hardware per se. It's very stylized, but quite simple at the same time. There's no hand-painted backgrounds or anything like that with some games that have polygon style. It definitely is a lot closer to like a Spyro than like a Crash Bandicoot,
Yeah.
So, what did you think of the overall game design graphics?
Overall, I thought it was definitely more engaging, like outside of the dungeons. But that's the thing. Like when you go underground into like a crypt, there's only so much you can do, But this game did have something I do love about the PlayStation in general. I don't know. I'm not, Digital Foundry, so please forgive me. I don't know the specifics. But like PlayStation games, there's certain ones that have like this type of lighting where it's like a certain color that projects against the walls on the floor. Another game that comes to mind that has this lighting is like Doom for the PlayStation, but it's like different colors and they cast, and you can literally see like the lighting cast. So like when you're in these dungeons, sometimes there's gonna be like a red light or a blue light, and it's like literally reflecting off the wall and the floor, and it's really cool. Like the 64 didn't do that shit. It's a PlayStation thing, so that was kind of cool to see. Like anytime I see that in these PlayStation games, I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome. I love it when they do that shit. But I thought the actual environments themselves, like the zones you go to, were awesome. The indoor environments, some of the homes and stuff, they felt like lived in. They have like upstairs for sleeping quarters, and you go downstairs and there's like a kitchen.
Yeah, you could go into like damn near everybody's house and like look at their shit.
Yeah, yeah, and it wasn't like repeated. I didn't see a lot of like repeated rooms and stuff. Like it seemed like there was some like tender loving care put into trying to make it feel like a lived in world. And it's a PlayStation. You either love that look or you hate that look. I personally love it. But yeah, I thought especially outside the dungeons, it's not bad looking. It was good. Like it ran well and looked good enough. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's top marks or anything, but
yeah,
for it sounds like they had no budget and they went through development hell and changed a bunch of shit. Like surprisingly solid, man. Like, especially knowing what they went through.
The graphics leave a lot to be desired. But I think the Kingsley's adventure documentary video that we've been referencing, he does have images of a lot of the concept art that was pulled up. And that kind of surfaced recently. Scott Butler kind of just pulled a bunch of shit out of his ass and was like, oh yeah, I have all of these, Kingsley concept art, and the concept art versus like the 3D models and what the characters ended up looking like in the game are extremely close.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see that the heart and soul and the idea of what they were supposed to look like on 2D like really did get translated to 3D, and it was done with care to make sure it did kind of match that concept. So I like that a lot. And it didn't seem to go through a lot of design type changes as far as like character designs, other than him not being a rabbit. But
yeah, other than Kingsley,
yeah,
And then I think some of the knights they changed too, but like yeah, overall, I think the world didn't change too much.
No, it really matched kind of like that artistic vision of like what it was supposed to look like. So that was cool. So check that out if you wanted to see like what those concept art looked like, because I honestly don't know where to get those.
Yeah, we'll plug his video in our description because it was super informative, and I love that shit, man.
It was
like,
cool.
Especially for these older games, like it's so cool. That shit's important to me, like preserving the history of the game and shit. Like really cool. Great work.
But yeah, that was the kind of the graphics inside the dungeons was a lot simpler, and I honestly wasn't worried too much about, oh cool, this is what I'm looking at, of being like, oh fuck, it's that fucking green slime again, you know.
Yeah. Or this barrel's gonna crush me, or this axe is gonna fucking slice me in half.
Yeah, but it was cool to kind of run around the towns and be like, oh, it's a giant, you know, barrel, or let's go over to was it a coffee? What was it? Was it a teapot? The bar was?
Oh, for the coffee shop.
I can't remember.
The bar was a big like a rum barrel on the beach.
Well, that's what I meant. The coffee shop.
Oh, yeah, the coffee shop was like a pot.
Basically the bar. Sort of, the silver bar.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Carrot Kingdom, where you've got the grounds of and it's very stylized, where like you're walking up to these houses and it does not look like it's supposed to be a very big house. And then you get inside of it and it's like fucking enormous, and you're like, oh,
it's the fucking TARDIS.
You know, yeah. So it was very consistent in the way that they did that, especially with like the Carrot Kingdom, like when you go out to the castle grounds for the first time, and that's where you go to some of the foxholes to get to the other areas. The castle's like itty bitty, you know, and then once you get inside of the castle, like that thing's massive.
You're right.
I got lost in there.
Oh yeah, when after the tutorial, I was like, where the fuck do I go? And I eventually found my way, but also to point out, there's like a pretty thick, like, I don't want to say fog of war, but there's like, it's not Silent Hill 2 or anything, but the draw distance is not very far in this game, so
no,
it's easy to get lost in some of the interiors.
And I did see that was, I believe that was to help with the frame rate. Yeah. Because it does chug in some areas, especially in the castle. Yep. It chugs hard. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I was curious on kind of what your experience was with the frame rate on playing it on original hardware, because I played it on a PlayStation 3, but I still had a chug in the castle.
Yeah, I had some drops for sure, and even like the intro cinematic with like the puppets and stuff, it was chugging. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to clean this disc because it's not reading. And no, it was fine. It just chugged a little bit, you know.
Yeah, and it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like, oh, this game's unplayable. It was kind of like...
it wasn't single digits.
No, and it never really happened when I was in a fight or doing a puzzle or trying to make a jump or anything. It was just in a couple areas that either had a little bit too many particles or a little bit too much, like anytime in the courtyard when you were going by the fountain to go talk to the king and queen, that's where it chugged in the intersection. And I think there was just too much happening in that kind of spot. Yep. But outside of that, it did not affect my gameplay experience in a way where I'm just like, oh, the frame rate was fucking terrible, you know, like this game's unplayable. It was annoying the couple times I had to go through the intersection, but that was intersection. But that was kind of really it for the frame rate.
I've got one more gripe about the graphics, and it's not like a huge deal, but it did take a little adjustment. Whenever, like, there's a lot of switches and stuff you have to flip, and there was times where I had trouble finding a switch if it was against like a different wall other than the one you're looking directly at, because all the switches were flat. Like every other game I could possibly think of, it's a switch with a handle, it hangs off the door and you see the handle. But
you know, and it's interesting. Some of them had handles and some of them didn't.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I believe in the tutorial. Oh my gosh, I can't speak today. I need to sit up in my chair if my tongue doesn't go down my throat, I guess. God damn. Okay. So the tutorial area, like there was an actual switch, like a lever.
Right.
And so I think that's what I was expecting, is to have everything consistently be like that. So when it wasn't, I was like not registering there was pixels on the wall that was different. I just thought it was texture. Yeah,
they were literally like the handles that you pull at the end of Doom. It's just like a flat thing, and sometimes it was difficult to find. It wasn't like detrimental or anything, but there's a couple times, thank God I didn't capture footage because y'all have been laughing at me. But yeah, other than that, that's all I got for the graphics.
All right, so we're going to go on to the final category, the final point that we take a look at, the price and the collectability. So, one thing of note, I cannot find any records for how many copies of this estimated were sold. It's not listed on VG charts. I can't find a record anywhere of like potentially how much the print run was of this. So keep that in mind. But in my personal experience, I have seen all of 2 copies of this. But I mean, there's like quite a bit of it on eBay, so it's not like it doesn't exist like Finding Fantasy, you know?
Right.
Kingsley's Adventure, GameEye's listing, and GameEye scrapes from price charting. So we're looking at like 44 for a disc or 81 complete. Some recent sold listings online on eBay. You know, we've got 80 plus $5 in shipping. 50 plus 11. It's got a big fat ass crack in it. So I'm wondering.
There is a registration card too.
The manual's a little beat up on that one. It looks like there's 2 different. Oh, is that PAL? Yeah, that's PAL. That's why there's 2 different discs. The PAL disc looks different than the North American one. Like the PAL disc has it's mostly orange and it's got his tail like coming out of the middle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then the North American one is Kingsley's Adventure and it's got a little Kingsley on the bottom. But the box art is exactly the same on both, pretty much.
Right. You just get that classic vertical versus horizontal. Which one do you prefer?
Yeah, you want PlayStation on the left or you want it on the bottom?
Right.
But the European version is actually more expensive than the North American one. But I'm also curious if it's because it was a UK developer and maybe there's a little bit more history there with it.
Right. It might be more loved over there or something.
It is substantially more expensive.
Yeah.
So I see a PAL no manual for 67. There's one of the PAL ones on here sold for like 200.
Yeah. It's nutty, man.
But then there's another complete one that was 107 plus 26 in shipping. I don't know how this one made it to Italy, but I'm seeing anywhere from, it's got a range 80 to 100. I think depending on probably how nice it is. A lot of 89s.
Yeah, I think that registration card and condition kind of tip it over to 100. There's a couple out there that sold for
crazy shit with the registration cards, man.
Yeah, complete.
So
complete plus.
Depending on your condition, you're looking at 80 to 100 for this one, which is still a lot higher than when I bought it the second time. So it seems to be climbing. Yeah. I'm not quite sure like why it's climbing or what the interest is on this one. Or if someone did
our schedule got leaked.
I guess. Where's the price history on this? Historical prices. I want it's been pretty consistent. It took a little bit of a hike in 2004. It's kind of been consistent since 2004. I mean, for the most part, it's pretty much like in that high of 100, low of like 60 range. Mm-hmm. All for the past couple years.
Yeah, if you get one for 60, you did good.
So I think I paid 75 for mine. And mine's pretty clean.
Yours is pretty. Yeah, it's pretty goddamn clean. It's berry condition. You know.
I think the book might have a little bit from the little clips on the plastic insert thing, but you know, at the end of the day, brother. Like, if you got a fucked up case, it's just a clear CD case. Just get a new clear CD case. Like, they're not branded.
Yep. No.
But I really wish I knew the print run or the estimated print run of this game. It cannot be a lot.
No, man. And then for just transparency and closure, like the PS2 was out 5 months after this game released, so I can't imagine they printed a ton of these things, you know what I mean? Like, everybody was already ready for the PS2, and, you know, the fact that we know this game had a shoestring budget, I doubt they were just like, put 1 billion copies out there. And yeah, like you said, like, just the local tests, yours is the only one I've ever seen, so... Like, there's not very many of these things out there for sure. I'm not going to sit here and say it's like a ghost, but like, it's definitely rare. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't ever see it.
And again, too, like we talked about at the beginning of the episode, like the fanfare surrounding it. Like, sure, if you know, Google or you go to YouTube and type in Kingsley Adventure, you're going to find shit. But like, I don't know anybody except for you, obviously, but not until after the fact, like, you know, we've been hanging out and playing games forever, and this didn't come up till you bought it. Like, I don't feel like this is one of those games that's in like the pantheon of PlayStation games, you know? Like, it's an interesting case as far as it's probably genuinely a low print run. It's genuinely rare, you know? There's a reason why these games go for this price, especially when it's legitimacy instead of like desirability. You know, I always use like the Contra argument. Like, there's 1 billion copies of Contra out there and it's still expensive. It's just because people want it. This is a game that I seem like people that did play it when they were kids genuinely enjoyed it, and it happens to also be a rare, desirable collectible. You know, it's an interesting one for a beloved console like a PS1. Anytime you're dealing with that, like this is, you know, our generation's console where people in our age group are set in their careers and they have like fuck you money and they want to buy the shit they had as kids again, and this like kind of it's in that category of like, hey, this is a pretty solid collectible in my opinion that might genuinely be rare, might genuinely be low print run. It's a pretty fun game. Like, it's, you know, it's not a masterpiece or anything, but I had a smile on my face the whole time playing it, unless I was platforming across slime. Like, this was a fun little game. Like, if you're looking at it as a fun game to play, it's kind of like refreshing to have a game that's so straightforward, you know, and I like this game, man. This is one that I kind of want to get. If I could get one for like that $60, $65, $75.
Oh, I lied. I actually saw a copy today, but it was just a disc.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just like kind of had that sudden realization of you when you said, "Oh, I kind of want this game." I remember pulling it off and being like, "Oh, Kingsley's Adventure," and then flipping it and being like, "Oh." Put it back.
That's crazy though. Yeah, I mean, I don't even see the disc, you know? Like, a lot of times you go to these game stores and they'll just have like tons of loose disc and shit. That does not ring a bell for me. Like, I it's cool, man. This is one I think I do want after playing it, just because I'm a fan of like this era of platformers, right? And like, I had fun with this game, so I think, you know, that 65, 70, I'm comfortable there. And there's some instances where it's creeping past 100 or it is hitting 100. Like, I would say this is one you're interested in. Like, grab it now before it hits that 100 mark. I don't see why it wouldn't. And then the fact that the PAL version's more expensive, that's surprising for me too. Like, there's probably something there, you know?
I gotta say this game was surprising. And I think if I had to guess, if this was my unprofessional opinion, I think it's kind of going up because it's starting to become that tier, that group of games that people are looking at because the higher tier games are out of their price point. So it's like, okay, if I'm collecting PS1 games, like, these fucking games are getting expensive. I can't really afford those. Let me try to find something in like the lower tier range that I can start collecting, or like what's down here. And it has that point of it's a cult game. This is a pinnacle cult game for sure. If you're gonna talk about what kind of a game is a cult game, like, this is one of them.
Yes.
It's got that cult game following. It's got some obscurity with the PlayStation 1. It's it's bright and punches you in the face. So at the second you see it, you are like drawn to it instantaneously if you can find it. And it does have scarcity. So this is kind of like a culmination of all of the things that like someone is looking for, of being like, okay, let me find like the next step down and like what can I start collecting that's a little different. And I think that's kind of catching on and like increasing that demand. And thus the demand increases, the price increases. So it's not quite the demand of like Tron Bond, you know, but I think it's starting to catch on of like, okay, this is a lower tier game that's kind of harder to find. It's a little more collectible than some of the other games and its same price point.
Right.
So that's kind of what I think is happening.
And I feel like this is definitely one of those games where, you know, some YouTuber that has a Patreon block behind his walls of saying like, this is a hidden gem and it's going to skyrocket. This game has potential for that. No one in particular.
Yeah, it's well, I don't think that would ever happen because there's no cars in this one. But
yeah,
you know, if I'm looking at this and saying like, okay, with all that, it's hard for me to be like, this is worth $100 because I just don't know the true scarcity of it, but my gut tells me it's pretty scarce.
Same. I feel comfortable being like, buy this one before it hits $100 consistently, honestly.
Yeah, like we have sales data for Rule of Rose, but we don't have for this.
Right. And we
like
all know how low print that is.
You know, like if you're talking about a game that like got no fanfare, got really no coverage, nobody in the US fucking covered it. It was a bunch of European like game outlet sources that covered it. Mm-hmm. You've got no sales data that's public in any way, shape, or form. It sure as hell didn't sell enough to make a greatest hit because there's no greatest hits for it.
Yeah.
So like I want to say there has to be less than 100,000 of these. Yeah, there has to be.
I'm not going to disagree with you. Like,
like there's some games that I can see on VG charts that say they're 100, like, or 10. I'm sorry, not 100,000, 10,000. Is that? I don't even know if that's what I said, but it has to be less than 10,000.
It's definitely scarce. I think it's legitimately rare, bro. Just
like I think this is like a game that truly is hard to find.
For sure.
But, you know, if I go on, let me go on eBay right now and let me just see how many
out there.
Because there's some on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's quite a few of them on here.
I could easily see this game though as one of those games that like people saw it climbing and they, you know, all the copies are out there on eBay. You can't find it in a fucking store anymore.
Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oof.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20,
damn,
21,
some of these
22,
asking prices.
23,
God.
24, 25, 26. So about 30 copies, and that's US and PAL. And then after those 30 copies, it just drops off the face of the fucking listing, and it's like Eggs of Steel and Herc's Adventures and Frogger. You know, it's not anything related to Kingsley. So give or take, there's 30 copies on eBay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at fucking sold. Hold on a second. I'm not even looking at available. That was just 30 sold recently.
I mean, there's still not as many out there as you would think.
$13, $14, $15, $16, $17, $18, $19, $20, about 30. Yeah, okay, actually about 30, maybe 40.
26 complete copies.
In various states and that's also a mix of US and PAL, and I don't know which one's more. I think there's less PAL copies
there's
that
one
I'm seeing immediately. To be fair, like I do think this is a scarce item. I still like have to put it up against something like fighting. Like we talk about fighting fantasy a lot. You know?
It's a legitimate hidden gem, bro. Like that term gets thrown around so much. It's a legitimate.
Does not actually. There's so many more copies of Fighting Fantasy up than there ever has been.
Oh yeah, well, that one time we looked, we were recording, we looked, and it was like
4.
This is the most I've ever seen in human existence, bro. Yeah.
There's actually
there was like
4,
6 or 7 out there.
There's 4 copies with a case.
Yeah, we were joking because we're like, yeah, they're going to all be gone once everyone gets their tax checks. I think we looked in like February or something like that.
Somebody thought that'd be a good idea to get one WATA graded.
Oh.
You know, that's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
But let me just put this in perspective. Fighting Fantasy is on VG charts. But to be fair, like, you know, it came out a long time later. But Fighting Fantasy on VG charts is, you know, 9,000.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I'm doing my math right. Total sales. If I multiply 1 million by 0.09, oh, I'm sorry, 90,000. 90,000. So I feel like there's still less copies of Kingsley than fucking Fighting Fantasy.
Yeah.
I don't know why my gut tells me that, but...
Well, they sent this thing to fucking
Aspire
die,
is a
dude.
bigger publisher.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, one of the devs was on someone's YouTube talking about it, and he was like, I came in late, and this thing was damn near unplayable. Like, I had a bunch of work in front of me. Like, they didn't put any resources into this, so I doubt they just printed hand over fist amount of copies, you know? Like,
Yeah.
like we said, this thing came out right before the PS2. Like, they kind of sent it to fucking die, man. It's remarkable how, like, fondly it is remembered by the few people who did play it, and seeing the devs pop up and be like, oh, I had great memories of this because they sent this thing to slaughter, bro.
Mm-hmm. No posters, no
sticker
figures,
advertising
no
is the
nothing.
craziest shit, bro. That's so nuts. Because, like, even did you see a picture of the sticker? It's literally just like Kingsley standing there. Like, it doesn't say like available this day. It was just like
It's just a
you
sticker.
walk by, it's like some asshole drew a fox in armor. Like, okay,
Yeah, there's like not even a title on it. Yeah.
right.
But yeah, I mean, to sum it up, I think it's worth it.
Same.
I think it's
Yeah.
a great game to have in a collection.
For sure. I think it's a fun game to play, and I think it's a collectible that has some room to grow. Like, this is an easy one for me to be like, yeah. And again, I'm not your financial advisor. I say this every time with the asterisk, but I feel really safe if you can get this thing for under $100.
Yeah, I think this is a shoehorn in for a specific PS1 console exclusive, good to have in your PlayStation 1 collection as a collector library.
For sure.
So, but yeah, that's all I got. That's
Gets
it.
the stamp approved.
Gets the
Collecti,
stamp.
yes.
Brian, what's next?
What's next is, so you did best Star Wars game. I'm going to piggyback off that, and I'm also going to piggyback and feed into our next Is It Worth It episode. I want to talk about our favorite superhero games.
Did you change that on the schedule?
No.
Oh, has it always been there?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I better start thinking then. I thought it was something else.
Nah. But no, so like, obviously I'm a huge comic book fan, like, been around comics my whole life. Like, when video games, when they started making these comic book games, especially around, you know, we did the Spider-Man episode for Neversoft, so spoiler, that's going to be on there. But, man, it's something I've always loved, and whenever these two worlds can come together, especially on this show, like, we're going to talk about it, so exciting stuff.
Nice. Yeah. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, check us out on YouTube for more free content, free episodes. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, we're on there as well.
Yeah.
Pop in the Discord. Tell us if you want to play Kingsley in the comments. What'd you think?
Yes.
And that's all I got.
Same. Thanks for listening, everyone. I appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah. Stay pressed. Keep collecting.
That's
Life
right.
Rose out.
Batman Beyond has to go on the end for this one. Perfect segue to the next episode.
Oh, yeah. See ya.